Hi, hello. We'll just probably wait for a few more people and then we can start. How are you guys today? Uh, I guess you guys should flood the chat box at this point. Good. Oh yeah, also, thank you so much, Gauravi, for this. Basic rules of this meeting. I would want your videos to be on so that I'm not talking to just blank screens with names on it. And I would love for you to interact and talk whenever it is necessary and you're given the chance to. So keep this very interactive. आज का दिन बहुत chill होने वाला है. We're going to have a very good discussion around marketing and what it is. So yeah, you guys will enjoy this today. वैसे if Gauravi, it's not an issue, can we let them unmute right now?
Yeah, that's fine. You can give them the access whenever somebody raises their hand.
Oh, cool. So the first one to get the access is the first one who turns on the video. I'm not able to see any videos right now. Is it just me? Oh, hi, Khushi.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
मैं तो एकदम बढ़िया हूँ यार. So tell me about yourself. Like, where you from?
Okay, I'm from Balaghat, Madhya Pradesh.
Ah,
Just applied for Masters Union, got selected, and gonna come in August.
oh, cool, amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're already a part of the batch, 29.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, that's amazing. I'll introduce myself थोड़ा बाद में क्योंकि फिर वो दो तीन बार introduce करने में थोड़ा अजीब सा हो जाता है. Hi, Abhiraj.
Hello,
Hi, how are
how are
you,
you?
Abhiraj? यार मैं
I'm
बहुत बढ़िया हूँ.
fine. What about you?
I'm good, bhai. Tell me about yourself. Hello, Abhiraj. Hi.
Yes. Hi, hi.
I asked you to tell me about yourself, like where you from.
Okay, so I applied for Masters in and I got selected, and
Okay.
I'm part of the 29 batch. And
Oh,
I
cool.
am from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh.
Uh-huh.
I am from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh.
Hey, I got that.
Uh,
कैसा चल रहा है? How are you guys? How's the
Nothing
feeling
like,
after getting into MU finally?
to be honest, the course pair thing, they have made this group of the 29 batch, and we have been talking a lot to the students and all. And yesterday, like we were playing Among Us with like there were 10 to 15 people, and we were playing Among Us. So it was great. It looks
Actually,
great.
I
It
don't
would be
know.
great.
That's something that starts in MU as soon as you get into it. Matlab, we also had
Yes, yes,
initially we also had like Instagram groups which were very active for some reason.
yes, yes. Like last night till 3, there was messages. I had to mute the phone, put it on silent.
They are talking on different topics and different backgrounds. Great. बहुत मजा आ रही है.
And that's actually something that happens. Uh, we had some fights in the early times. पता नहीं कुछ लोग कुछ तो झगड़े हो गए थे. But it was very entertaining to see कि अच्छा ठीक है कॉलेज शुरू नहीं हुआ है but कॉलेज लाइफ शुरू हो गई है.
Correct. So, what this marketing session is about?
Basically, today we'll be understanding what marketing is. And like, what's the overall career trajectory into marketing? And basically, it's just about giving you an overview and making you understand कि यार अब तक जो तुम marketing के बारे में सोचे थे वो गलत है और कुछ there's something more to it.
अभी
Uh,
तक तो कुछ नहीं सोचा था.
Yes, so this is something that would happen to you as soon as you join MU. That हर एक particular subject जो तुम आज तक सोचते आए थे, accounts क्या होता है, marketing क्या होता है, it would change drastically. You would be like, यार ये कभी सोचा ही नहीं था कि this is how people look at marketing, this is how people look at accounts. But yeah, good. I guess we have around 21 people. Uh, should we Began? Who's sharing the screen? Is it me? No. Cool. All right, now I'll just have to mute you guys. Cool. So, hi folks. It's good to see this many people on Saturday morning. I rarely wake up on Saturday morning. 2 बजे तो at least मैं सो रहा होता हूँ. But yeah, so today's session is going to be very special because we'll be breaking a lot of myths, and we'll be truly understanding what marketing is all about. We would have a very exciting guest lecturer today, who would also be interacting with you guys. So आज मजा आने वाला है. It's very chill conversation, so let yourself be very free. कभी भी chat box में कुछ भी पूछो, मजे करते हैं. So yeah, Gaurav, should we go on with the presentation, or should we wait for?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Green flag we got. Are you guys able to see my screen? Also, I just forgot to share the sound, which reminds me to do it again. Cool. So start from the beginning. And here we are. So as like I said, this is going to be a very chill conversation. A little bit about me. I am Aman Pathan. I am a first year student trying to get into second year. मेरी exams चल रही है अभी. So yeah, this conversation is going to be around marketing, what it is, what you essentially thought marketing was, and what real world marketing looks like, and what the life of marketeers is. So before beginning, again, just some ground rules for the folks who joined later. I would want your videos to be on because I don't want to be talking to just blank screens. And I can see a lot of people have their videos turned off, which is not a good sign. I mean, I don't like that. Can we have your videos turned on, please? Good, good, good. I can see new people. Hi guys, how are you? Still, Rohil, Srishti, Avni, Shanaya, Palak, Atharv, Aaron. Videos चालू हो गया है. See, now I can see a lot of people. Cool. So let's get started. Is there any marketing campaign, any format on Instagram, on YouTube, on TV that you really liked? It says let's flood the chat box, but if you have something that you really want to share, just raise your hand and I can unmute you so that you can share that story, so that you can share that campaign, not the story. I'm looking for good answers. Amul Doodh Pita Hai India. That's one of the Lifebuoy Bunty. Okay. अच्छा, there's something very surprising जो आज के session के end में तुम्हें पता चलेगा for you. Anything else? Nike, just do it. मतलब just do it is its brand tagline. It's not exactly a marketing campaign, but still, yeah. So Amul Doodh Pita Hai India is their jingle. And people remember it from that. कहीं पे भी तुम्हें ये tune सुनाई देगी, so you remember Amul. So that becomes the campaign. But just do it is their tagline. Lifebuoy marketing at Kumbh Mela. Oh yeah, it was very interesting. Marwan, can you? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Can you unmute yourself and tell us more about this particular marketing campaign? It was very special. First of all, can you just raise your hand so that I can see you and I can unmute you? Marwan, my mic does not work. All right, cool. So, Kiss Me Adbury campaign, Fevicol at, and was this stick couples together? Oh yeah, that one was good. This Fevicol thing also happened at Kum. No, they made extra big, large T-shirts that two people could wear. But okay, we got a gist of it. I understand you guys have really, looked at what marketing campaigns are, and you've understood what they are. That's it. Am I audible properly? It says my internet connection is a little unstable. Just nod your heads. That would do the job. All right, cool. So let's go. We'll start with a little quiz sort of thingy because I see that you guys are a little uh, you guys are not a little energetic at this point, but we'll have to solve that. So Gauravi, yeah, there is a quiz link in the chat box, which I would want you guys to join. And Gauravi would share her screen if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Cool. So that should, oh, a lot of people joined. Aaron, Ane, Anushka, Tharv, Daksh. Yeah, let's go. कौन है भाई बचे हुए 5-7 लोग quickly join. I guess okay, cool. We'll go ahead. Cool. So I guess the first question is right in front of you. Guess the brand from the tagline. Because you're worth it. Says which brand? I'm pretty sure you guys watch TV a lot. Oh, cool. So it was Yadavi who came first. I could not see the other names. But yeah, we'll see how the scoreboard evolves. But yeah, it is L'Oreal. It is one of their taglines. Let's go to the next question. No confusion, great combination. यार ये वाला तो मेरे को भी नहीं पता. But I guess I have an idea which brand it is. Yes, it's bingo. Yadavi, Rohil, and Samriddhi. These are top 3 people. What are the other folks doing? Fastest finger first. This is. This one is easy. Taste the feeling. There's also a brand associated to the same product, and they actually essentially copied the thing, the tagline, most of it. Cool, it's Coca-Cola. Oh, we see a change in the scoreboard. Anna Jain, I think. Yeah. So actually, Thumbs Up was the one who then had a similar tagline. It is the thunder. So yeah, that worked for them well. Cool. Next question. The best a man can get. I hope you guys are not Googling it on the side. What was the answer? Gillette. Okay, cool. ये वाला तो बहुत ही इजी है. तुमने बहुत सारे बैनर्स देखे होंगे. द इंजीनियर्स चॉइस associated with the color yellow. Ultratech Cement. That's it. The complete man. This I've seen a lot. Yes, it is Raymond, I think. Yep. Innovation and new. यार ये तो मतलब मुंह पे होना चाहिए. Is it innovation and your innovation in you? I think it's innovation in you. Let me just check quickly. Phillips. Cool. Last question for you guys, if I'm not wrong. Inspire the next. You guys are actually smart. I mean, I genuinely had no idea what half of these were, but cool. Uh, Amazing. Can we have a look at the leaderboard? Oh, cool. So Anaya Jain stands first. Second, we have Rohil. And third, we have Kimaya. Am I pronouncing your name right? Can we have a round of applause for these people? Yeah, it's way too weird when it's online. You never truly get to see people's reaction. Cool, but congratulations to these people. I think Anay, I saw you on the leaderboard before in like the earlier test drives, but we'll get to that later. Hi, Anshika Garg. You raised your hand. Do you want to say something? Anshika? Like, uh, if you have something to say, reply on the chat box, or was it just for the appreciation? Cool, but for the applause, you were supposed to turn your videos on, and then you had to clap like this. So can I please have your video on? Anyways, this was just for everyone. Cool. I guess I'll share my screen again and we'll get moving. Are you guys able to see it? Yeah. So we got to this part. What do you guys think marketing is? Raise your hands and we'll have people talking about what they feel marketing is. Yes, Anaya.
Marketing is basically creating a perception or basically, like creating a image of your company and then selling your product using that image.
Okay, that's a genuinely great answer. I was not expecting that, but amazing. Let's go to Dash.
Mark, am I audible? Marketing is the process in which you promote or sell products, I think,
Okay.
through different channels.
Hmm. So you mean advertising your products? Cool. Well, that's part of it, but we'll understand what it is in the entirety. Let's go to Pranav. Hi, Pranav.
Yeah, hi. So in my opinion, I believe marketing is a way for a company or a brand to be known across their audiences, and
Mhm.
it's a way for people to recognize something and to be known, in their respective fields.
So brand awareness is what you're saying.
Correct, yeah.
Brand awareness कि लोगों को मेरी brand के बारे में पता होना चाहिए यार is what the goal of marketing is.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to Abhiraj.
Marketing is a sum of all the activities that is needed to, advertise and grow a business and retain customers.
Okay. Bhai Saab. Crazy answer. Kushi, what do you have to say?
Communicating or displaying the availability of the product or USP of our product with the audience or with the targeted consumers.
Hmm. Communicating the availability, as in that this is the product in the market, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yes.
Okay. Okay, cool, cool. Then it's a relatively better answer. Shrishti. Hi, Shrishti. All right, I guess Shrishti is having some issues. Last one, we have Palak.
So it's also using like psychological and neurological like techniques to promote your like your something you're selling.
Cool. So promotion is what you're saying, and getting in the minds of customer. Okay, yeah, this is my product. Amazing. Last, we have Kushwant, and this would be probably the last because we'll have to be short on time. Hi, Kushwant.
Marketing is basically creating an brand and image, a name within the people, so we have more sales and earn a good profit and revenue.
Okay. So you're saying marketing is about creating your identity in the market and generating profits through promotion of that identity. Okay. Cool. All of your answers are true, but at the same time, they are part of marketing. So what marketing really is about understanding who your consumer is. I'm very sorry that I wrote customer here, but it's about understanding who your consumer is. So, fundamental differences between customer and a consumer. Your customer is someone who buys your product, not necessarily consumes it. A consumer is someone who finally eventually consumes your product. An example of that would be इससे पहले जब भी तुम लोग स्कूल में थे, your parents were the customer of that school, but at the same time, you guys were the consumer. I could be buying a sari for my sister or my mother. So I am the customer, my mother is the final consumer. So marketing is about understanding कि यार मेरा जो product है वो exactly किसके लिए बना है. Who is it made for? Who is my ICP as we say it, ideal customer persona. And it is about reaching that right customer. Okay, how do I reach to that particular customer? Where is my consumer? Where is he sitting? So if I'm making, let's say, formal wear, so Gurgaon is the place where my consumer is sitting. If I'm making, let's say, gaming laptops, so it's probably the gamers that I'll be looking at. Now I'll have to understand where these gamers are and how do I reach them. So it is about market research. It is about distribution. It is about understanding what their needs are. Okay, what would a particular person require in a product? So marketing is not just about selling your product. I mean, it's a given that you have a good product, but marketing also covers that. कि you have to understand कि इस product में क्या क्या और डाल सकते हैं in order to meet the needs of the consumer, and then finally satisfying their needs and creating profit out of it. So why is it needed? It's essential for brands to attract and retain customers and build awareness and drive sales. So that's just the surface of marketing, but there's a lot more to it which we cannot cover in just one test drive. It's a 36 hours course, as our professor says. You'll get to hear that sentence a lot once you come here. So yeah, qualifications required to be a marketeer. वैसे तो यार as such marketing is a skill set that you develop by the way you understand people, the way you understand businesses, the way you understand solutions. But formal education, which is required in order for you to understand these things, is a BBA degree or a bachelor's in marketing or any other related fields. It's a very fluid way of understanding what these qualifications are. And MBA with a specialization in marketing is something people really love. Or you can have professional courses and certificates in like digital marketing, SEO, social media marketing. We'll get to that as to what these things are. Pranav, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I wanted to know, like, along with this kind of bachelor degree and an MBA, would a degree in psychology also help with marketing? Because it's more like understanding human behavior and people. So would a psychology degree also help along with this?
Yeah, it's actually perfect because the first step, I'm so sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. The first step is understanding your customer.
Yeah.
So one of the models that you would understand as soon as you start your courses in marketing is something known as GTM, go to market strategy, wherein the first step is understanding कि यार मेरा consumer जब किसी supermarket में जाता है, when you go into supermarkets and you're looking at two products which are essentially the same but they have just different branding, so what am I going to choose? ये I would choose Huggies or Pampers. I don't know. But the way you position it, कि यार Huggies से whenever you see Huggies ad, you create a certain perception of that brand. Whenever you see Pampers ad, you create a certain perception of that brand. And if it aligns more with you, Pampers aligns more with you than Huggies, you would go and choose Pampers. So there is this thing called IDA model, decision making model of a customer, wherein the psychology part comes in. Okay, what is my consumer thinking while buying? So yeah, psychology works. Question.
Yeah, I am asking about there's a difference between a customer and a targeting customer.
I'm not able to hear you. Can you be a little louder?
I am asking that what is difference between customer and targeting customer? Is it really any difference, and it helps in differentiating in marketing perspective?
What is the difference between a customer and
Target customer.
target customer, like target audience?
Yeah.
And the second part was
And
target customer and
is there any differentiate between marketing in that to help better marketing and better sales,
yeah, of
or is
course.
it equal
मतलब,
for all?
go ahead.
Or is it equal for all?
No. So marketing plays a very special role in defining what your target audience is. So recently, I have been working into something which helps CRMs become more efficient. So my clients are B2B, and so I am the CMO of that particular startup, and my job is to understand कि यार मेरे जो consumers, मेरे जो customers हैं, essentially B2B में you look on customers and not consumers. Those are people at high managerial levels of banking, probably insurance, real estate, IT SaaS. So how do I reach to that particular target audience? I'll give a very simpler example. Um, let's take the same Pampers example. So essentially, my target audience is who? Early parents, और जिनके बच्चे अभी 0 to 1 years के बीच में. I don't know when kids stop wearing Pampers, but yeah. So that is my target audience, and it's a marketeer's job to reach that particular audience. So yeah, marketing has a lot to do with target audience. Anay.
So basically, my question was about technical marketing. So, like, will technical degrees, like maybe a BTech or a BSc, help to do technical marketing? Like, if I don't know anything about my technical products, like a software or something, how will I go and sell it?
Well, of course. Now that's very subjective. If you're into IT SaaS, sure. Otherwise, also, if you have a degree in like analytics and stuff, it helps you a lot in market research. So, for example, we were trying to build a formal wear clothing brand for women, because there's a huge gap in India. There's no one catering between in the premium range. Either it's super premium, either it's super cheap. So what we were trying to understand is we were modeling from these two brands called Loft and Ann Taylor, right? And now why Ann Taylor and Loft works is that they have eliminated the whole process of going to a tailor. How so? Because if you go to Ann Taylor right now and search for any sizes of your clothing, especially for women, you would understand कि यार इनके पास वो हर एक कपड़ा है that could suit to every body type. So they have a huge SKU, right? And so we were trying to replicate it in India. And so that's where the data and market research part comes in, where you try to understand here what is the size, what is the average size of women in India. So किस product के SKUs ज़्यादा रखूं, किस product के SKUs कम रखूं. So that's a very analytical part of marketing, but yes, again, it is part of marketing and it is required for people to do. And we usually scratch our heads, कि यार अब इसको कैसे tackle करें, because we have never done that sort of data analytics in our life. But yeah, it's a part of the process and it helps you a lot. So yeah.
And what about for B2B marketing? Like,
हाँ बताओ.
like is it important to establish a brand in B2B as well?
Yeah, it is very necessary to establish a brand in B2B. So this is one of our recent discussions with our marketing professor. Problem is that with my startup, which was into B2B, yeah, B2B mein you cannot go out and have a jingle or a tagline. It's very formal space, right? So he told us a very important thing. I don't know how do I explain it to you. A consumer has a personality. So, for example, Anay, are you a competitive person, or are you a compliant person, or are you someone who's very detached from every competition? कि यार मैं अपने में खुश हूँ. I am not associated with this world.
Compliant maybe.
Compliant. So you love people and you love that connection with people and you value that more than anything else in the world. Am I right?
Not like more than anything else, but yeah, it holds value.
So it's a priority. Okay. So you have a compliant personality. Now, people change their personas when they are getting into any sort of environment. So if I'm talking to my friends, even though I'm a compliant personality, I would want to appear as a hero. कि जब मैं उनसे बात करता हूँ तो मेरा एक aura हो, ठीक है. At the same time, when a child is running towards me and I'm the father of the child, I would want to be a caregiver, right? And so customers have different personas in different situations. For example, when you come to Masters Union, you want to appear professional, you want to appear studious, you want to appear responsible. And those are personas of you, right? And for a brand to be successful, you have to associate with one of these personas. So when it comes to B2B, it's actually the utilitarian function. कि यार, this particular product is associated with convenience. This particular brand is associated with convenience. So yeah, brand identity is required there as well. Are you building something in B2B, by the way?
No, but I will when I grow up.
You will. Okay, cool. You seem like a tech person. I would want to meet you for my startup. But okay, cool. Let's go. All right. So these are the skill set that you essentially require to be a marketeer. One is market research. You need to be able to understand and go through all the sort of KPIs, key performance indicators, and analyze कि यार मेरा product जो है वो किन के लिए बना है. Ouch, so sorry. वो किन के लिए बना है, मैं उन तक कैसे पहुंच सकता हूँ, and few more things like that. SEO is search engine optimization. Marketing is everything that promotes a company. Okay, cool. Data analysis, which is where Anil's question gets answered. Content creation, social media management, communication, creativity, analytical thinking, teamwork, and adaptability. So these are the skill sets you would essentially be looking at when you get into marketing. So this is, yeah, Kushan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was asking about what about marketing in deep tech and AI startups?
Marketing in deep tech and AI startups. Yeah, I haven't been into those startups, but essentially what I'm thinking is कि अगर AI किसी consumer के लिए बना है, फिर तो chat GPT की तरह marketing करो कि कुछ crazy सा बता दो consumers को so that they can drive to your platform. If it's a B2B thing, I have already answered what it looks like. But yeah, I'll have
Yeah,
to
what is
get back. Yeah.
well, I was mixing all but if we mix all open AIs and tools that are present in the entire world into a single platform.
Okay.
This is what my idea is, and I'm building on it. And how should I do marketing in it?
So यार, कभी कभार कैसा होता है ना कि if your product is really good, you generally don't require marketing. तो पहले तो आइडेंटिफाई कि यार तुझे B2B करना है, D2C करना है, किसके लिए बना है ये प्रोडक्ट, और क्या ये प्रोडक्ट इतना क्वालिटी है कि पीपल वुड पे फॉर इट, और पीपल वुड want to spend their time on your platform. I exactly don't know what it is, but we can have a conversation about it after this. But yeah, I'll help you out in the marketing part. So it's very subjective, so I cannot answer in black and whites. So, hi, Atharv. Well, this is the last question. We'll have to go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So, what my question is that I'm building something that's, Gen Alpha and Gen Z focused. So, what are your opinions on how to market that? Is it only on social platforms, considering that that is, where Gen Z and Gen Alpha spends a lot of time on? Or
One
do
second,
you,
one second,
okay.
one second. I lost your voice in the middle. Can you just
Yeah, hi. So, what do you think, like, how can I market something like that? Do you think it should be more focused on social platforms and content creation because that's where Gen Z and Gen Alpha spend quite a bit of their time, or
Hmm.
more conventional ways?
Um, yeah, it is again very subjective. I don't have a very clear answer right now, but yes, इसके बाद मैं मेरा LinkedIn दे दूंगा या मेरा WhatsApp number दे दूंगा. We'll have a deep chat about it. मैं बैठ के I can solve all these things for you, but right now, in the interest of time, we'll have to move it.
Sure, thank you.
Is that fair? Cool. So yeah, this is what the career trajectory of ideal marketer looks like. I'll quickly explain what the job profiles are. So marketing associate is something when you start initially you get into. So कोई एक social media marketing agency होगी and you will be a marketing associate there, and your job would be to conduct basic research इसके यार product के बारे में या फिर customer के बारे में, report it to your senior management, and then they'll take care of the marketing part of it, the creative part of it. Or sometimes it's the other way around, where you are actually given the responsibility to think something creative of an advertisement or a campaign or something like that. Marketing manager is someone जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा रोल चेंज होता है, जहाँ पे you are more on handling a team. उनको बोलते हो कि यार मुझे कुछ क्रिएटिव आइडिया दो, मेरे लिए मार्केट रिसर्च करके आओ, बिकॉज दिस इज आवर गोल एंड वी हैव टू मूव टुवर्ड्स इट. ठीक है, सो यू आर हैंडलिंग एसेंशियली अ टीम एंड नाउ यू हैव मेंबर्स हु आर डूइंग दीज जॉब्स फॉर यू. डायरेक्टर ऑफ मार्केटिंग पे थोड़ा ड्रास्टिक चेंज आता है. यहाँ पे पीपल आर नो लॉन्गर इनटू दीज little parts of it कि यार ad campaign सोचना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. That's something the team does for you. What you are thinking on is the brand identity. What you are thinking on is distribution, reaching people, products, and sales. Similar for VP of marketing, it's on a larger scale. So this is essentially where you're given the job to scale it. So you are going through your go-to market strategies. You're trying to understand कि मेरे customers बैठे कहाँ हैं, how can I expand, and at this point, the creative aspect of it somehow fades away. You still have to do it while briefing your team, but you are not sitting there and designing stuff. You're not designing videos. You're not designing or making ad scripts or something like that. CMO to yaar, it is a very different category ke yaar, the whole brand depends on you. You are essentially the one who is responsible for driving in sales. You are essentially the one responsible for people's perception towards the product, and that's what your overall goal is. Okay, how do I position my brand to whatever level I've decided it to be? So yeah, just a quick little, activity. Do we have the time? Yeah. So you're launching a new line of eco-friendly household cleaning products called Green Guard. Can you come up with a tagline very quickly and drop it in the chat box? Something like powerfully clean and naturally green. If that makes any sense. Green hai to clean hai. Crazy. Athav, this one is very good. We'll have just a few more and then we'll go ahead. Let's go. We have one more quiz to go with. Eco clean. Maybe not. Think clean, go clean, keep clean. Okay, think clean, go green, keep clean would make sense. But yeah, okay. So I get the gist of it. This was just like a fun activity, but you guys are already very energetic. So, anyways, let's go ahead. So, how a brand use their competitor to advertise themselves? Do you guys remember this Pepsi? Is my audio coming through? Aviraj, can you just nod? Okay, cool, perfect. So they essentially gave you a little nudge care. This is probably a Coca-Cola ad, and then it became a Pepsi ad all of a sudden. So why this worked was that you basically show your competitors that you're better than them or something like that. But I believe after a few more banters of Pepsi and Coca-Cola, they eventually had to bring in a law that you cannot use the customer's product in the competitor's product in your ads or something. I'll have to check on the facts then. But do you guys recall this Coca-Cola campaign? This became much more bigger than the Pepsi campaign. Have any idea about this campaign? Just have a nod is what I'm looking for. But yeah, so why this worked really well was okay. We'll come to that later. Just let's watch this.
रिश्ता बोला मेरे नाम की कोका कोला
So a genuinely brilliant marketing tactic. One second, we are through that. Okay, cool. Abhiraj, I'll take questions later. Actually, we are running a little short on time. अपन ज़्यादा discussion कर लिया. So Coca-Cola Share a Coke campaign created a very personal connections with the customers. तो इसके अलावा भी ब्रो भाई की जगह भी there was one more thing that they did was they had just created a list of the common names in India, and they started printing it on the bottles. So say Samriddhi, say Khushi, say Pranav. So whenever people would see a Coca-Cola of their name or their friend's name, they would buy it for them, and then they would eventually one second. Anyways, so yeah, what it did was that it increased a lot of sales because you enhance the customer engagement. It becomes a high involvement product for you, and you spend a little more time just understanding little more time with the product, and you fall in love with it. So that's why this worked very well. It gave a personalized touch. It also had a social media impact. So जब प्रणव के हाथ में उसके नाम की बॉटल आती है, guess what Pranav does next? Pranav would go on Instagram and post a selfie with that particular bottle. What this does is that ये छोटा सा move helps you reach so many customers. Why? Because I'm pretty sure even at this age, you guys are what 17, 18, मेरे से एक साल ही छोटे हो. So 17, at the age of 17, 18, you probably have around 400 to 500 people on your Instagram, right? Easy. And so what it does is that even if one person shares a story, let's say with this whole campaign, they just had 1,000 people sharing stories. Multiply that with 4,000, you have 4 lakh people ka reach just by one story that the consumer posted, which is called UGC essentially, and that's why it is very powerful. Events and promotions, you saw it everywhere on the kiosks and the vending machines. So yeah, it was a celebration when people found their names, or when they took a bottle for their dad or their moms. So it was a very genuine touch that they gave to the people. Sales impact, they made crores in money. It created a social media buzz, and the campaign was overall a success. You can see what I was talking about, how people post about on their Instagrams. Cool. So this example shows how personalized packaging, a simple personalized packaging, can forge deeper connections with the consumers. All you have to do is there's this concept called just noticeable difference (JND) in marketing. All you have to do is just get above their JND, and that's it. Also, so Wednesday you had one more simulation in which Anaya Jain, Kushant Goyal, and Palak, you three had an amazing performance. So congratulations to you guys. A round of applause for everyone. Can we have a round of applause for everyone? Cool. Thank you so much. Right. So these folks had their chance on Wednesday. There's one more chance for you guys. Let's experience a new simulation related to marketing this time. So can you guys guess the company that we are going for today? There's a hint for you that it was the first company to use Beatles song in their commercials.
Nike.
Perfect. It is Nike, and I believe you googled it, but anyways, today's simulation is on Nike. Are you ready to attempt the simulation together? Let's go. So can you guys see my screen? And do you guys have the poll? Do you guys have the poll? Garvi, how do we solve the poll situation?
You can start, Aman, as soon as like every time that a question pops up, I will be launching a poll.
Perfect. Cool. So let's go. This is the scenario. You are the head of the marketing team of Nike. Okay? And you have been asked to create the latest ad for the newly launched women's shoe in the Indian market. Here are the product details and descriptions. The product is called Nike Zoom X Streak Fly. It's a road racing shoe. It is the lightest racing shoe in the market. It has a very low profile with sleek details. It's like minimalistic, right? Helps you better connect with the road. So essentially better friction, and it helps you run faster or whatever. I'm not a very fit guy. A partially integrated tongue that delivers a secure fit. It's very comfortable to wear is essentially what it is saying. It's available in different colors and different sizes according to the market. So you ask your team to find out catchy and interesting ads used by other companies. Let's see what they found. This is Dove.
ये सिर्फ हमारी नहीं, देश की करोड़ों लड़कियों की कहानी है। मैं है किस रेडी।
बुला रही हूं। चलो भी चलो, जल्दी करो। है कि दीदी, साड़ी पहनाने की बात हुई थी ना, फिर वजन दिखाई दे रहा है।
अब इसमें भी दिखाई दे रहा है।
हुन तुसी जल्दी करो, लड़के वाले आ गए ने।
इससे ढक लो बेटा, जल्दी आ जा। मैं आजा बेटा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आजा नूर, आजा। फोटो में तो रंग साफ लग रहा था ना। अब बेटा आप दोनों चाहो तो बाहर चाय पी लो। जा नूर। सीढ़ी लगाकर बात करना पड़ेगा आपकी राजेश्वरी को, हमारे लड़के से। नो बट जोक्स अपार्ट, अपने बाल स्ट्रेट करा लेना, भाई को नूडल्स नहीं पसंद। How do you make ये दाग कब तक चलेगी खूबसूरती की ये बदसूरत परख? आखिर कितनी खूबसूरती काफी है? डव, खामियां नहीं खूबियां देखिए।
So this is one of those ad that dignified people and crossed all the taboos that the market had about having a dark color. But yeah, so that's what it was about. Cool. Gauravi, is this right? Actually, we'll just begin from the second question. I see. It seems I start over. Cool. I think we'll have to wrap it up fast because there's things lined up for you guys. Gauravi, can we just have 2 or 3 questions and then we can move ahead? Cool. So which of the following is the correct answer according to you? So मैंने शायद answers reveal कर दिए थे, but anyways. Come on, let's answer. Let's get more answers. अब मुझे तुमको पता ही है, छोड़ो यार ये वाला question. You guys can just read through it. Next one is Nike already has a hashtag that is just do it. But for this new launch, you want something more catchy and women centric. So considering that you want more women to move out and to be more active in sports, which of the following hashtag works? Okay, this one is a little interesting. So we'll go with option 2 because it has much more. Cool. Amazing, you guys were right. Anyways, we'll take this last one. Is there any question after this? Cool. Acha. Anyways, we won't be able to continue because
Aman, you
yeah.
can run through this. This is fine. You can go
But
through
I'll
the entire question set. Yes.
okay, but then they'll have to watch the ad again.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
know this
fine.
ad? आगे बताएं. Or do I have to go through it? I think most of you would know this ad. Cool. So what element of this ad attracts viewers the most? I think this one is pretty clear. Of course. So 17, 18 people responded for the first option. And that is essentially the right option because it is the jingle that stayed with us forever. बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता है, उछलता है India. Considering that your ad has to encourage more women to go out and play sports, what background music would you choose for your ad? Music should be loud and energetic, should be soft and slow, and music should be classical and have a low bass. Oh, that's just way too informative. Cool. I think you guys would be great marketeers because I see a lot of people answering for the right questions all the time. Yes, essentially you want people to get moving, so the music has to be loud. It has to have that energy. Considering that you want a hashtag to be in sync with your music you use in the ad, where would you place the hashtag in your ad? This one has a lot of mixed answers. This one would be interesting to see. Cool. 40% went with, sorry, 50% went with option 3. And you guys are right. We'll move ahead, or we would do this Cadbury ad also.
We can do all of the questions.
अरे बाप रे, अच्छा ठीक है, चलो कोई नहीं. This side I have to see.
अरे कहाँ हो?
हाँ हाँ आ रहा हूँ. हीरो लग रहा हूँ ना. इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले फैशन ऑफ एम्पोरियम से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना. और फिर एम्पायर फुटवेयर, नाम तो सुना होगा. जूते वहीं से लेना ताकि वो भी खुशी से नाच उठे.
चलो मेहमान आ गए.
और अब क्या लग रही हो मासी. अपना स्टाइलिश चश्मा बगल वाले हेवन आई ऑप्टिशियन से ही लेना. और सिद्धि विनायक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से लेटेस्ट स्मार्टफोन खरीदकर धमाकेदार सेल्फी पोस्ट करना.
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
लाया हो ना यार, अपने पास वाले रोशन किराना से. आप भी अपना मीठा वहीं से लेना ताकि आपके साथ उनकी दिवाली भी मीठी हो जाए. हमारे आसपास की जो दुकानें हैं उनकी दिवाली भी तो मीठी होनी चाहिए ना.
इस दिवाली कुछ अच्छा हो जाए, कुछ मीठा हो जाए. So throughout the Cadbury's ad campaign, they have been trying to, and they've been successful at it, at replacing your regular sweets जो तुम खाने के बाद खाते हो, with Cadbury, and it reached homes in that similar fashion, and that's how they wanted to position it. So they have done a brilliant job at positioning their whole brand. Why do you think Cadbury ad became so popular in India? Cool, I think ये JEE नीट का टैक्टिक है कि जब all of these दिखे तो वही होगा आंसर. But yeah, we'll go with all of these. That is the correct option. Considering the day of launch of this ad, of the ad is an important factor in deciding the popularity of the particular ad. Which of the following day would you pick for your ad launch? Mother's Day, Workers' Day, Women's Day, Children's Day? I think the answer is fairly obvious. Who said Children's Day? Mother's Day is still understandable. Children's Day, 3 लोग हैं यार. Anyways, cool, no worries. It's actually Women's Day because that's the day which we celebrate to empower women, and that's how we want to position these Nike shoes. So, to connect with the local Indian women, what should you have in that particular ad? So again, sorry, my bad. It was the answer was all of these. Essentially, the way I see it is, I would want an ad where a woman is wearing a traditional, kurta and something like that, and she wears the shoes uske niche. That would be something interesting to find out. You need a celebrity who can help you reach out more women. You asked your team to find out about these celebrities, and this is what they got. Which one would you choose? I think this one is okay, cool. Right. So the answer is pretty clear to this, because it's actually given to you. Otherwise, this would have been a very tough choice. कि Kiara Advani or Deepika Padukone. Kartik Aaryan was anyways out of the question. So basically, Deepika Padukone has a better appeal with women in general, and women empowerment. But Kiara lacks that. So hence, Deepika Padukone is an ideal choice. Otherwise, they both are good sports people, and so. Oh, there was a quiz with it. Cool, anyways. Yeah, that reason. Well done. The ad is ready for a launch. Are you ready to watch it? Let's go. This is actually the ad that they had.
up in the morning, all systems on go. Cause I got goals and I won't take no for an answer. Got the grace of a dancer, the heart of a panther. I don't understand you. It puts in your vocab, I cannot quote that. I want this so bad, I cannot go back. I cannot back down, I will not give up. You versus me, huh? I say good luck. You don't want this problem, cause I don't do it unless I go full throttle. And I might throw it on Instagram, just to show you what the difference is. For instance, I'm up with the roosters, outrun the runners, outshoot the shooters. Look in the mirror, hey girl, let's do this. My only competition is myself. That's why I keep some trophies on the shelf. Never lazy cause it's bad for my health. Da-da-ding, da-da-ding, bada boom, bada bing. Now let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So it's quite a long ad, but you get the gist of it. Okay, whatever we found out throughout this particular quiz or mentee session that we had uh, is what is applied in this particular ad by Nike. So this is how it works. You essentially find out what resonates with your customer and create an ad around it. So essentially what it solves for is that कि आपको ये नहीं करना पड़ेगा कि आपने ad बनाया and then you are just waiting कि यार people का response कैसा होगा. You exactly know कि what actions of yours and what research of yours is used where to create that ad campaign or that awareness, and hence it's a calculated risk कि यार if we create an ad like this, our brand would be positioned like that. So that's there. But yes, let's go now to the slide. Is there anything else in this one? All done. Cool. Let's go. So this is the interesting part of the conversation that we are going to have today. Hi, Yaman sir. How are you?
Hi. I hope
Hi,
I'm
sir.
audible and visible.
Yes, you are audible and visible. Is my screen visible though?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool. Perfect. So, Yaman sir is an alumni of ISB.
Please, if I may interrupt, could you just call me Yaman, please?
Cool. But sir, I mean, I cannot.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Yaman sir is an alumni of ISB. He has worked across global advertising firms such as Ogilvy, Whiskers Marketing, McKin World Group, FCB Ulka, J. Walter Thompson, and these are like big names. He is an ex-senior marketing manager at Times Network with 17 plus years of experience across advertising, brand development, digital marketing, leadership, and market research and strategy. He has worked with quite a lot of interesting brands. So I was actually going through your LinkedIn profile yesterday, and I found some ads that took me to that era where I was just missing schools and watching TV all day. और तब ये मूव की ad बीच में आती, तब ये डेटॉल की ads बीच में आती थी. So yeah, he has worked with quite a lot of interesting brands. So hi sir, how are you today and how are you feeling?
I'm great. How are you doing? And I got a glimpse of some of the ads that you guys were watching and in
Right. So we did a quick little activity where we told them to, understand the product and take attributes of it and then create an ad eventually. So yeah, interesting journey we had today.
Awesome. Right. So yeah, okay. Thanks for that intro, and I think I really look forward to this session. I yes, I've got all those brands and probably some more, but what's important is not, I think, the brands. It's those journeys you build together over decade and a half or so. And I think all these journeys are only possible because of the people that you work with. So I think before I even take your questions, I think one thing I'd sort of give that unsolicited advice, if I may put it, is to say that in the age of AI, in the age of everything taken over by computers, everything taken over by technology, I think one thing that's really not kind of lose its sheen, and all the AI experts also say the same. It's not about how humans get replaced with AI. It's about how humans, being human, use AI. So I think that's probably what I would say has been the strength or has been my driving force sort of keep going is because just the chance of getting to work with the some of the greatest creative minds, greatest human beings at places like Ogilvy, McCann, FCB, JWT has a special place in my heart because a lot of things that you see on Horlicks that I've spent actually 7 years on Horlicks alone from two different agencies.
Oh.
Started with JWT and sort of took me to a sort of deep dive into a world of research driven marketing, research driven advertising, etc. So it was a special sort of I would say a milestone in my career. But yeah, that's that. I think let's uh, get on with it. I think you have some questions, so we can just
Cool. I have so many questions at this point. I haven't really gone through the questions that these people have provided me, but मेरे खुद के बहुत सारे questions हैं तो मैं वो तो आज answer करके जा रहा हूँ यहाँ से. So let's go. Just quickly, yeah, that works. So what does it mean to work in marketing? Can you explain us with an example? कि how do you go through that particular journey? कि आपके पास कोई product लेके आता है, let's say Horlicks, right? So how do you go about deciding what factors to put in the awareness part of it? How do you do the market research? How do you get through the GTM process of it? How do you reach that right customer, that right shelf जहां से जाके मैं Horlicks का डब्बा उठाऊंगा?
See, I think any marketing project starts with a problem. Okay, I think first, let's say let's just kind of take up what you were showing. I think when I walked in, you were looking at Cadbury's ad, right?
Yeah.
With Shah Rukh Khan. If I just talk about that, I mean, I would like to start by saying that look at that ad and think what is the problem they solve with that ad, right? When they're saying kuch meetha ho jaye and they're showing you a typically kind of like a very festive atmosphere where Shah Rukh Khan is not the Shah Rukh Khan that we see in films, but he is like a next door maybe an uncle who is celebrating sort of Diwali with his family and folks. And then he's talking about some some dukan or something etc. that you have to. So there is a B2B story there. There is a B2C story there, right? There is a story there of talking to the audience, talking about meetha being mithai ki dukan is they're trying to create an association of not less of a Cadbury but more of a Haldiram, right?
Personal connection is.
Yeah, right. They're sounding like the Haldirams. They're sounding like they're actually selling traditional mithai. So that's the narrative that you pick, and you kind of go back. I mean, obviously, this was the outcome of all those things, but they would have typically made a sheet and said that okay, the problem that we're possibly facing in the market is, the share of chocolates is going down, share of confectioneries is going down. Probably, maybe at a certain price segment, the share of chocolates is going down, right? Because what you see in the ad is not dairy milk silk. These are dairy milk, the regular dairy milk, the lower end of the pricing, right? So you look at okay, fine, saying that what's the competition landscape, right? You start filling those boxes, right? And if my threat and typically if any of you do take up marketing in future, marketing actually always boils down to those five forces of Porter, right? Right. So that it almost always boils down to that. That's like the whole Bible, right? So if those five forces are somewhere shaking up the market today, what you see in the carbonated segment, carbonated drinks, with Reliance Campa putting all the pressure, with Pepsi changing its price at least in my lifetime, I've never seen it before, is because is because of those five forces, right? Because suppliers have an advantage because there are more players coming in. Earlier, there were just two players, so suppliers can negotiate. Because suppliers can negotiate, then the marketer, which in this case is a PepsiCo or a Coca-Cola, which is they're not manufacturers, and understand that they're not manufacturers, right? So I think all those games come into play. So what does it mean to work in marketing? It is to understand that harmony. It is to understand the job that your sales team is going to do for you. What is it that's missing out there to create that demand in the market of the consumer, and what do you plug in? What do I need to do to create that demand? Do I need to dial up awareness of the brand? Is it that people are not picking up because awareness is low? Is it that yes, awareness is high, people have tried also, and something we called ANT users, which is aware, not trialists. They're aware of it, but they're not trying it, right? So then you have a very different problem at hand, right? They are aware of it, they have tried it also, but they're not coming back, right? So they're different
So
kind
they're
of.
trial rejectors.
Sorry.
They're trial rejectors. They try the
Yes,
brand.
they're lapsers, right? Sometimes we call them lapsers also. So then these are the kind of this thing. In the case of Cadbury, we would have. I probably think I'm just taking that example because probably they were, my sense is that they were trying to use an occasion and the charisma of the whole mass appeal of Shah Rukh Khan to create a narrative again for people to go back to chocolates as sweets, right? And to create because on the other hand you have, on one hand you have the mithai, on the other hand you have the chocolates, the Lints and this thing of the world, the expensive ones, the Ferrero Rochers. In fact, if you see, Ferrero Rochers are everywhere during Diwali. If you go enter any supermarket, including a big bazaar,
Any festival for that matter.
a big bazaar. So if that's what's happening, then that's where the brand's challenge comes in, and it's for the marketing to sort of look at that strategy and say, okay, what do I need to do to shake this up? So that's become
Okay, crazy. So can you just take us through the step-by-step process? कि यार पहले you do market research, फिर you do this, फिर you do that. So what is that essential steps?
Right.
Just bullet points.
Yeah. So number one, I look at the category I operate in. Okay. I say, and I define my product. Okay. Just because for instance, Cadbury is not defining their product by saying that we're selling chocolates and my competition is chocolates. If you do a competition analysis, your chocolates, if you think that chocolates is a competition, then you're wrong there, right? You're looking at this is a typically Diwali moment, so they are looking or a festive moment and saying that what is my competition during festivities for gifting, right? And that's where you go deeper, right? And then you do your research to figure out the consumer insights as to what the consumer behavior is. That's number two. And number three, you go back, you kind of look at a strategy. You say that, okay, where do I need to change the behavior? So where do I need to in the whole end to end journey from making the product till this thing? What are the touch points I need to touch upon? Here, in fact, in that communication, they've also touched upon the dealers in a sense, right? Because they need to, they somewhere are possibly losing touch with the dealers playing a role in the roles of in the consumer life to make that decision, to influence that decision, as opposed to happen earlier. Because now most of your shopping is probably happening on an Amazon or the Blinkit. So you're trying to bring that, right? So you probably somewhere the marketer will also say, okay, just talking to the consumer is not good enough, or the end consumer is not just the only stakeholder I'm talking to. I'm also talking to that dealer. What do I do for him, right? So am I going to do a dealer activation program, right? Probably an answer could come from there. So the different stakeholders that I need to talk to. So that's number three. Number four is again. So one was and number four is then going looking at those multiple channels of marketing and say, okay, fine, have that one single narrative and touch upon each component, each touch point, right? So whether it's for dealers, I'm going to do certain probably dealer activation program. I'm going to give them, I don't know, holiday. A lot of companies do that, right? That they make a certain reach a certain sale figure, and I give them something this Diwali again. I celebrate the festival with them through that, and I incentivize it. Basically, it's an incentivization. And then the other spectrum is looking at the customer. So you kind of completely you take one narrative and you clear the entire funnel.
Understood. Beautiful. That explains a lot of things which would be part of my assignments later. But yeah, okay. So, what are the skill sets that you require to excel in this field? I know it's a very fluid field. Okay, even if you don't have a degree in marketing, you can still be good at it if you understand people and how they work. But yeah, so what are some skills that marketing teaches you, and what are those skills that
I think I am from this. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that was my question. That's
Yeah.
it.
So no, I think I am ancient. I think the skill sets that are going to be required in the next decade very different from the way they were seen to be required in the last 10 years, 15 years. But certain fundamental things that I can probably foresee that will not change um, is how excited do you get when you kind of uh, when you think about what is the need of a product. How do I create a need of a product or a brand that I put out there in the market? What is a need that it's fulfilling that it's not being served right now? I think if I
Correct.
just and if you're really sort of passionate to just always answer that question, uh, and whether it's for your clients, because let's face it, I mean, even our clients are our customers. So when I
Correct.
say customer, it's not in always in the literal sense of the term. A lot of times it is, but also the customer being the person across the table, right? Because a lot of times it's not about what they say they need, and it's never about that actually. It's never about what the customer says they need. I mean, if that was the case, I don't think we would have had a company like Apple, whose value is a few trillion dollars, right? Because Steve Jobs didn't believe in going and asking people, what do you need in your smartphone, or do you need a smartphone? How do you carry music? Do you need to? He would not have created an iPod, right? If he had gone by the data, the world didn't need an iPod. The world definitely didn't need an Apple iPhone, right? They already had BlackBerry, so they were pretty happy with it, right? So I think it's about that, and both these examples, Apple did a great job of marketing their product, right? So I think the transferable skills that marketing teaches me is of course I think good communication skills is something that I think comes in handy because I think it's also the what really helps is when you kind of when you're able to communicate and understand nuances of the business such as research and also break them into data points. I think the ability to really see an Excel sheet and create a story and narrative out of it. I think that is something a marketing professional should be able to do, because it's the because if I see numbers and saying that okay, this is my sales breakdown of last quarter, and what are the things that may have affected it, and I find out that okay, fine, this place had some elections over here, and that's why the sales were kind of lower or higher. Then there is a trend there. It's telling me something. I need to catch in on that. I need to cash in on that. That saying okay, fine. The next time I have elections, I'm going to be out there. Okay. Look at what happened during the Kumbh Mela, right?
Right.
Some brands did a fabulous job of being out there, right?
Very good.
Had the biggest like refrigerators, and so a lot of brands. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't go, so I didn't get to see it. Actually, I wanted to go just to see all the things that brands are doing there. I wasn't so interested in doing the Ganges dip, but I was reading about it, and it was quite fascinating, right? And
Right.
most of those brands were MNC brands. So again, that was all done by marketing. I remember when I launched a channel, I was a part of a team when we launched Times Down Bharat, which was a Hindi news channel. We actually took a boat for 3 days during UP elections in Banaras on the Ghat.
Okay.
And we put a 70-inch screen out there. And we were just streaming the channel because people hadn't seen the channel. And
Right.
people who were around that time, because I think there were some road shows and stuff going on. So there were reporters who were going on from our team, and they were there, and they came back and they said, our channel is visible clearly on the cards. We're like, great. So I mean, it's sometimes it's not about because again, that was awareness. That was to drive an awareness. That was to kind of have a certain agenda. Did I get great numbers of people watching the channel because of that? No, but that wasn't the idea either. So I think knowing your agenda, being, having a single minded proposition in your head and chasing it. I mean, chasing a goal, being data oriented, saying that this is what I want to achieve and this is what I want to get. I think that's important for a marketing person. So in fact, I'm not surprised that a lot of engineers make great marketers also, because again, they are very good deducers. They're very good this thing of extractors of data, if I may say so.
So essentially, it's finding the best way to satisfy the needs of your customer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. There's one more additional question which popped up in my mind, and you also touched upon it in the initial answer of yours. Is that with AI, I don't think there is much of a difference. But how do you think so? It's changing the way people work. And again, I think that it won't be AI replacing you. It would be people who know how to use AI would be replacing better.
Exactly. I think somebody said it, and I think right. I agree with that.
Yeah, and so how does marketing change in that terms? How do people working in marketing? I think there's an upper hand on market research when AI enters the place, but then what are other things that change?
See, I think what's going to change from marketing is not a whole lot, because I'll tell you, you still, like you said yourself, that research is going to be about what am I going. I mean, research is not that research is going to become. I mean, people thought that Google is going to have the answers to everything. But again, the question came that are we asking the right questions to Google? Right? Because if otherwise, why would people go to colleges and Google has all the answers. Ask all the questions, ask all the equations, of all the theories that are written on behavioral economics, but it probably could tell you. But then even Google will show you on behavioral economics, when you Google theories written by Tversky and the book of Thinking Fast and Slow, right? Because they got a Nobel Prize for it, because that's the golden the golden rule book of behavioral economics. So at the end of the day, it comes down to humans, right? Even a chat GPT or whatever is going to give you an interpretation, or generative AI is going to give you an interpretation of something that's put out there. Don't forget that generative AI for the next 5-7 years is not going to create something. They're not going to be the creators, right? Similarly, a marketing person, I think if you're trying to solve a problem out there, you need to know where to look. Are you looking at the right place? Are you asking the right questions? If I'm going to answer questions which are going to drive brand loyalty, but the real problem is lying in some untapped need in the market, and I'm overlooking it, and I'm solving the wrong problem. So it comes down to that, and I think it's yes, there are some great AI tools which could help you in that journey. But again, I think the problem setting is not going to happen through you. I mean, I don't know. Probably it will happen sometime later in future, that why my product is not doing well. I don't know how am I going to be able to ask that question. Why is my product not doing well? Right? Why is it not giving me 1 billion sales, or it's giving me $1 billion sales? But is it good enough? Can it get more? I don't know if AI is going to have answers for that. I will have to figure out the right questions to get.
By the way, how is Jasper AI? I haven't used it. I'm assuming you would have.
Jasper, sorry, I have also not. I've used a bit of Mid-Journey, yes, but not Jasper so much.
Cool. So Jasper is I mean, I haven't used it, but it's a tool for marketing, they say.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious to know if you would have used it. Cool. Moving on. So what does a day in your life looks like? Okay, what are you working on? Let's take an example of Dettol. Okay, when you're working on Dettol, what does your average day look like, and what big of a process it is to achieve one particular goal of yours?
See, I think again on a given day, what am I chasing on that day, right? Depends a lot on that. So on a given day, I could be talking to say my sales team and saying
Hmm.
that I could be having sort of a meeting with my sales team where they'll probably come and tell me that listen, the UB market is not really picking up the product, right?
Hmm.
What can we do for them? Can we do some trade seminars? Can we do some trade show? Can we create some sort of this thing for that particular market? Because
Hmm.
again, I need to understand from them what are they facing, what are the challenges they're facing in the market. Is it that maybe there's a business community out there which is not latching onto the product? Is it some barrier in terms of they're not feeling that the product is right for their personality? Maybe the product is too, I don't know, it doesn't talk the same language. So
Hmm.
it could be a number of those things, right? And so a day usually would be, I would say I would spend time with my sales team. I'd be spending time figuring out those answers, and there would be meetings with the agency, you know on the advertising agency, in terms of really figuring out what are some of the campaigns that I'm doing. How do I get the best leverage out of it using the creative power of it, and also using the media, right? I'd be having meetings with my media team as to figure out if these are the campaigns I want to put out. This is the money I want to park. And the biggest question that I have to answer every day is that I have this much money lying with me to spend in this month or to spend next month. How do I use it? What's the best way of using it? These are the two, three things that are going on for me. My awareness is this much. My market share is this much. My CEO has told me to chase this number in the next quarter or so. So you have those goals. You have those. Sometimes the goals are not there. Sometimes, I mean, the goals are largely there, but sometimes the process is not there. So you have to figure out the process how to get there. So every day goes in figuring out that process. What am I going to do today to get that goal?
Hmm.
Right?
Understood.
So it's that really.
Cool. So there's this one question which I really ask all my professors, is that कि यार जो भी आप में पढ़ा रहे हो, right, whatever the courses tell us, in general आप कोई भी principles, कोई भी theories, कुछ भी पढ़ते हो regarding anything around marketing or any other subject for that matter, is applicable when you have a good amount of audience, when you are at that particular stage जहाँ पे your brand is a little known. But I have a startup. Right. So, how does marketing play out for small businesses which are just starting out? जिनके competitors probably sharks हैं. So, how do you tackle that? How do you create your own little space uh, when you're getting
I
into it?
think I think it's not about whether, I mean, if a question is marketing possible for smaller startups, of course. I mean, everybody started small, right? Except, I mean, fine, HUL and PNG I'm not talking about here, but there are startups that are listed today, right? That can't be even called startup. Like Zomato was a startup at one point, right?
Hmm.
Swiggy was a startup. Uber was a startup.
Hmm.
I think the right marketing happens to a right business model. Again,
Right.
coming back to Porter, his this thing that in fact, when he talked about the fact that there is only two things that you can do. Either you can really have a business creating cost efficiency, or you can differentiate,
Hmm.
right? So I that's also a marketer's problem to solve. I mean, marketing really needs to, because if I am constantly putting my monies, pumping monies into celebrities and creating this sort of an image that I have a very different product. How long are you going to survive on claims which are trying to create a differentiation, right?
Correct. So you need to have a POD. Is what you're saying.
Sorry.
You need to have a POD. You need to have something that sets you apart from the market. So essentially, if
You
you
need
have a
to have
good
a point
product,
of
marketing
differentiation.
happens on its own.
I'm saying you need to have point of differentiation, not for the sake of it, For instance, look at Southwest Airlines, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, it's. I think you'll probably read the case study someday. And Southwest Airlines did not. It's. I mean, there was no concept of a profitable airline before Southwest came in, right? That aviation industry even today is not does not have many profitable players.
Right.
Right? The biggest reason it's a high capex business, right? There's a lot of payouts. There are a lot of third party vendors. There's a lot of cost that needs to be paid upfront. So a lot of the services that you get, you'll get them much later, or you'll get them over a period of time, but you have to pay first, right? Uh, all the airport management services, all those services that an aviation company, that an airline company has to pay for, they come at a heavy cost, right?
Right.
So if so, I think the business that you're in, I think that understanding needs to be very important. Because
Right.
if now, for instance, if I talk about retail, this thing, most of the companies fail at retail because their rent is so high.
Hmm.
The rent usually comes to be about 30 to 40% of the business. Now that itself is a disaster therapy. I mean, it's a disaster recipe, right? Because if your retail, especially in a food business, the restaurant business, a lot of restaurants, fail because the rent is so high, and you end up squeezing the costs on the other things that matter, on the quality of the food, the dining experience, or anything for that matter, even the presentation. So if that which is the core of your business, if that takes a back seat, what's going to happen is, uh, in the attempt to keep the cost low, you will compromise.
Hmm.
And if rent is 40% of your cost, you are going to compromise on the things that matter.
Correct, and that makes sense somewhere because I firmly believe that for a marketeer to market a product, it has to be a given that the product that they're selling is good. You cannot sell a bad product. You
Yeah,
cannot take it to a scale.
yeah. I mean, I can't create a demand for a product, say that, oh, I want people to buy the product, and that's the only thing that a marketing can work on. No, not really.
Correct.
Because I mean, again, Southwest created a business model which was not about creating a differentiation.
Hmm.
Southwest was about creating cost efficiency. They made all those components sit together so nicely in perfect synchronization that
Hmm.
the cost of everything that they paid for became so low that it became easier for them to manage the business, and
Correct.
it became easier for them to keep contain those costs. And the moment everybody else tried to replicate their business model while not changing the larger structure of the business, they all failed, because they
Hmm.
said that we're going to live like a king, but we're going to spend but we want results like how this middle class guy is getting. It doesn't work like that, right? So you got to figure out, and that is the marketer's job, to figure out what am I going to do differently product which is going to get me the results that I'm hoping for.
Hmm.
Okay.
Cool. We can move to the next question, which is, what are the educational qualifications required to enter this field? I think we've already answered this one. So, how do you think this role will evolve in the future? Oh, this question was already there. What does the career trajectory look like? Like, where did you start marketing? Is what I want to know.
Uh, I think the career trajectory looks more like, see, it's, I think that, and I think I also talked about this, how it's going to evolve a little bit in the future, is that there is going to be a lot of technology that's coming in, right? So understanding, what you need to keep you need to have your ears on the ground. You need to be true to what's happening around you. You need to really know what's going on, right? I mean, if the Cadbury's guys didn't know, or if they didn't put in the monies in the research to find out, or have the for example even the open mindedness to accept that you know what, we are in the business of sweets, we're not in the business of chocolates, right? uh, they were the ones who accepted that. Coca-Cola accepted that many years ago when they did the campaign Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola.
Yeah, correct.
You know, when they realize that okay, they're not in the business of selling carbonated beverages, competing only with Pepsi. If they want to gain, if they want to share gain, if they want to create more market share for themselves, it's not going to come from Pepsi, or it's not going to come from any other carbonated drink. It's going to come from the guy selling Nimbu Pani on the streets, right? Because there is a huge chunk of customer that is not even considering my brand. Forget my brand, is not even considering the category, right? So how do I bridge that gap? So I think the career trajectory, I think how I see it's changing is that the number of the brands competing are everywhere now. Earlier, I just needed to go to a store, and if I was in a consumer, let's say if I was an FMCG brand, I would just go to a market. I would go to a traditional store and do my research. Like, fine, this is my competition. Now I can't do that. Right? I
Also,
really, yeah, sorry. So I really need to kind of have lots of eyeballs out there, right? What is going on Blinkit? What is going on Amazon? What's going on Flipkart? How are the private labels operating on these, right? So because Big Basket is also selling its own sugar, tea, milk, and everything, which is marketed, manufactured by them, and then they're also selling the ones which are not really manufactured but at least marketed by them totally, which also carry the name of Tata because Big Basket is a Tata company. And at the same time, they're also selling Tata tea and other Tata products. But again, which ones do they push? Is a function of the operating margins, is a function of understanding of the business, etc. That both companies or all those businesses laugh their way to the bank, right? So it's really about having those, having the number game right, and understanding the market, understanding the nuances of the market. Where is the consumer going? What is the need it's fulfilling? Again, I think it all comes down to that. That what does my consumer really need at that point of time? What is he willing to pay? If I'm at a, I mean, let's just put it like, if I'm at a movie theater, why am I paying 250 rupees for a popcorn? I mean, right now I'm sitting at home, and if somebody sends me a 250 rupees PVR, puts a stall in my society for 250 rupees popcorn, is anybody going to go and pick it up?
No.
No, because there is a very strong, aspect called willingness to pay of the consumer, and that willingness to pay is created basis the circumstances that surround me. It's contextualized, right? If I get a Starbucks coffee in a plane, I will pay $1,000 for it. On the ground, probably not more than 500 rupees, right? Even for a blue tokai, I'll probably still pay 300 rupees.
Yeah.
Up in the air. So it's all those dynamics that the business marketers definitely will need to sort of understand and have the understanding of. And for that, they need to be really having ears to the ground, really having their eyes and ears open. And it's going to become much more difficult because information is out there. Like I said, there is AI and everything to give you. But am I asking those questions? Because
Exactly.
brands are getting launched every day. New brands are coming in. We don't even know half the brands that are out there, which are being sold on Instagram every day, right? But that's going to be the challenge.
And so you mentioned about more data being in. So we are probably reaching a point jahan pe, if I talk about just the awareness part of marketing, so we are reaching a level of content infinitum. Okay, there's infinite content available for a person to see, and so it's harder for you to get those eyeballs on your brand.
Yeah, and earlier, see, content was you would go to Insta and Facebook for content. Now you go to Insta and Facebook for shopping.
Exactly.
I mean, you people are browsing and just shopping, picking things up.
Correct.
So I am no longer saying that no. I'm only gonna look at the pack and then I'm only gonna see which company it's from. That doesn't happen anymore. Yes, there are some cases where the switch may be more difficult. For instance, I'm just going to pick up a car. Any random company that walks in, am I going to pick up a car? No. So that those fundamental rules of low involvement, high involvement stay. But especially for low involvement products, which I would anyways anything under 1,000, 2,000, and how as the society grows and develops and people have more money in their hand, that number is also going to keep growing, right? Today, jewelry is being threatened. Diamonds are getting threatened by artificial jewelry, not gold, right? That's why I've suddenly started seeing De Beers doing full page ads in economic times and whatnot, because there is that real threat that's coming in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So eventually it's going to get a little harder for people to market their products.
Yes, absolutely.
And so what gets eyeballs is things like Fevicol, which it did in Mahakumbh. They created big ass t-shirts which people could wear, and that created a
Yeah.
buzz in the market. And that's the only thing people somehow at this point in the age of Instagram look at. Otherwise, there was one more point, but we'll discuss it later. So how is working at an advertising service firm different from working at a company and handling their marketing department as an entirety?
So I think I'd like to answer it this way, that imagine that somebody gives you pocket money, okay, and says that, like, gives you 1,000 rupees and says do whatever you want with it, but do something that give me something that really satisfy my hunger. I don't care what you do with it. Give me, and then there's another guy there who gives you 200 rupees and says that I also want to be satisfied with my hunger, but I'm giving you 150 amount.
Right.
Advertising is a lot like that, right? That clients are gonna have money sometimes. A lot of them are not gonna have the money, but they want to be satisfied, right? They
Correct.
want their business goals to be met. They want their marketing goals to be achieved, the numbers to be achieved. Some would even sort of give you targets to sort of achieve. Usually, they're fair in their game, in a sense. They would give you a fee, whether it's a project or an annual retainer, to say that you work on this business. This is what we're going to pay you for it. Because they don't usually get into this thing of I need to achieve sales like that. So usually they don't do sales targets. But yeah, if it doesn't work, they will come and blame you for it. And tomorrow they might, find another advertising agency, and so on and so forth. But how it works very differently is in marketing is that you are a marketing team. Now think of that money suddenly changes, and now you have your own money. Okay, you've got the money given to you by your parents, and now they're saying that depending on what you're left, we give you 1,000 rupees, and now whatever you're left with at the end of the month, and depending on what you do with it, is when when depending on that we will decide how much we'll give you the next month. Okay.
Correct.
That's marketing department, right? So let's say you're given in a quarter one crore rupees, and you do something with it. It gets you some results, but not quite what your bosses wanted you to, or your CEO wanted you to achieve. And then the goals get higher. The goals may get higher, but maybe the money is lesser this time, right? So you got to work with less money to create very different kind of results.
So like an organic way of.
Sorry.
So like an organic way of developing a brand.
Yeah, the exactly organic way of so here you will be left sort of, advertising is not the answer here, right? In an advertising agency, advertising is the answer. No matter your client can tell you, the clients will kind of say that, oh, this is a business problem. You need to give me business solution. But an advertising agency, at the end of the day, can give you an advertising solution, right? But a marketing team is going to give you or needs to be able to get those solutions from the market, right? To say that, okay, I need to create a sort of an audience in this market. So maybe if I want to, have some sort of sales number which is not coming in merit, right? To do something in merit, I'll probably do a road show, right? Or I'll do a micro influencer activity in merit, or I'll do some, so those are the kind of things that I can sort of look at. I'm not restricted to only or doing advertising, but what I'm restricted to is the money I have in hand. Right? So then I had to be creative. I could be organic. I need to sort of figure out what are my tools, and I need to know my tools, and all those ways that I can achieve those numbers. I think those are two fundamental differences.
So the next question on this topic is something that I usually ask all my friends, but it's very special asking to you because you've been in this field for a very long time. Can you give me one campaign that you were really proud of, or you were inspired from? Both.
I would say, I mean, inspired. I think pretty much I mean, the Apple film, of course. The Think Different film is I think one of the most inspiring campaigns for me. And because just the kind of, I think the cult following that it created. And not just that, I think it's a philosophy of the brand, and it kind of stayed true to it for the longest period of time. One can argue whether they're still true to it.
No, they're on a constant decline. I mean, they used to be a brand that used to resonate with detached people.
Yeah.
But now suddenly they've gone into all of these things, and I don't know why they're doing it, but I mean, whatever. They must have a better view than
I
we,
think
at
they are
least.
operating in a different era. I think they are operating in an era where performance marketing is all about tacticality of the business, not so much about the brand's ethos and things like that. I mean, that's just one way of looking at it, and I'm not saying that it's entirely true. I don't believe that it's true, because there are still brands like Nike who haven't really resorted to sort of those methods of completely going tactical and just screaming and shouting about the features of the shoe. I don't remember Nike doing an ad like that. Apple is doing that today. They are screaming and shouting the features of their phone and the price that it's at, and etc. Anyhow, I think that's for time to tell. That's doing. It's apparently working out for them. That's what the numbers are showing. At least in India, it's working out for them. The numbers.
But then, is it healthy for a brand to change its personality or persona?
See, I think it's not so much about personality or persona. I think you've got to understand why is it that people are. I mean, if you're saying that by reducing the price, the personality or persona changes, not quite. It's changing maybe of the people who are absolute. I mean, so okay, one has to look at it is that there is a natural fit for those people who already have bought into the philosophy of the brand. Yeah, right? Who understand what the brand brings to my status, and what it means to me at a psychological level. The other audience is very tactical, very price oriented, right? And if I am appealing to those, and that's creating that sales for me, it's creating those numbers for me, then is it the big question is, am I going to lose out on that first audience? Are they going to stop buying me because they'll suddenly feel that, this is not the brand I bought into, this is different?
Because
Right?
your whole personality with Apple, it is that they have a cult brand, and then it changes. So people who had that loyalty towards Apple are somehow losing it, is what I feel. But then again,
No, see, they are the most brands, the way they deal with it is, and why it's iPhone is different. Apple is different in a sense. Apple uses its name. Apple is not a house of brands; it's a branded house, right? So
oh,
I don't know,
okay.
yeah. So it's about the brand architecture, right? So they use a branded house philosophy. Is that Apple name and the Apple logo is attached to all the products that they sell. But if you look at Unilever products, right? Dove is also Unilever, and then you also have a Lux, which is Unilever, right? So are they competition to each other? Yes. But are they catering to a very different segment? Yes. Right? Rin is also Unilever, and Rin is Wheel is also Unilever brand. Surf Excel is also and Surf Excel is a PNG brand. Sorry, and but at the same time, you have a Surf Excel, and then you also have a sort of an Ariel. So it's sometimes you can have brands sitting under the same house, but you create such a distinct positioning for all those brands and the task that they have to fulfill, that you're not so worried. But in the case of Apple, all the products are Apple. But probably, I think one way of they're looking at it is to, they're creating those sub brands in the sense that there's an iPhone 16 and there's an iPhone 16e. Earlier, they did the same when they did an SE, right? So they are kind of distinguishing it, but I think only time will tell if they are alienating the ones who are at the higher price point.
Who
As
came into Apple for the innovation and the
exactly, yeah,
breakthrough disruptive part of it.
correct. And yeah, I think one of the strategies I remember when we were working on Horlicks sachet, completely going on a different tangent. This was for Horlicks. We were launching a ₹5 sachet packet. We were again talking about the marketing thing. The marketing team was very clear that they're going to make losses with this product. It's not going to really sell off. In a sense, yes, for them, the idea to sell this product of ₹5, probably the cost of this product was also ₹4 or ₹5. And sometimes I heard it actually went higher than ₹5, the cost of making that product. But they were willing to take that hit on the margins, etc., or rather pay from their pocket in a sense, is because uh, it gave them something. It gave them something to put out there, which would have a gradual evolution from a ₹5 18-gram product to a ₹25 product in the near future, and further later into the future, maybe a bigger pack, say 100, 200-gram or 250-gram jar. Because we were seeing that this was this one audience, and that was hungry to try products which are coming in packs, which are giving them this opportunity to nourish their children, to give them that nutrition which they otherwise can't afford. Not everybody in that's still true in our country. Not everybody can buy those apples and fruits and vegetables that we, some of us, I mean all of us here, find easy to afford. So then we came up with this proposition to sort of peg it as something which is, sort of unlocking the dreams, right? So, and that was the narrative that we started, and we made 2-3 films on that campaign, and it really did well for the brand. And we created the entire category. We pegged it at this proposition of, Horlicks, sort of untapping your dreams. And the tagline was "Chote mein bada khwab," right? So big dreams in a small, in small sizes. And we never said pack in the line itself, but it was kind of implied, right? Because the product is small and it's an 80-gram pack. So it really kind of resonated. The creative execution was also quite heartwarming. It was heart tugging. Talk to the mother, talk to the relationship between the mother and the child, and the dreams of the mother reflected through the achievements of the child, right? So so I could probably drop a link later. You can have a look at the films.
Correct, of course. And so going through this all these processes of understanding brands and creating something, a strategy for them, what are some of the parts that you like about that, and what is that one thing that nudges you always कि यार ये हट जाता तो मजा आ जाता.
I think the liking part is something I touched upon in the beginning as well. I think just it's so you can't afford to. You have to work with people, right? You have to work with people. You have to work with their egos. You have to work with the. It's a challenging part also. Sometimes I didn't like it, but I think that mostly I like that part because when you go through it and when a relationship really clicks, that relationship outlasts your working stint, and it stays with you, and I think that's the one thing that I really like, that the fact that you work with so many different people, right? If you're in marketing, you're going to be working with events people, you're going to be working with the people in media agencies and ad agencies, working with outdoor people, you'll work with digital marketing people, social media people, influencers. It's so many different, varied. This thing in advertising, you're going to work with production houses. You're going to work with people who handle talent, who handle creative talent, and people who are creative. Right? So writers, artists, art directors, marketers. So I think it's just that energy that you're so surrounded with, and it kind of absorb from you. The one thing I dislike, I think I would say I think sometimes, especially this is true for advertising, is the working hours. I think there is no process to it. I think it's about high time, and I think probably AI will teach us as the time is of the essence, and then there's a lot of procrastination. There's a lot of things left to the last minute. We need to discipline ourselves. I think the advertising fraternity has probably, I think, started to realize that now, that you cannot work beyond certain hours because electricity comes at a cost. Internet comes at so the resources have started to sort of put that pressure, or the cost of resources put that pressure back on companies. So they've started to realize that, and I think that's one thing that's something that I didn't always enjoy is the lack of discipline.
Okay. Also, there's this one personal question which I wanted to ask, which is like, have you ever designed an ad के जैसे for example that Colgate का छोटा पैकेट बड़ा पैकेट वाला ad, if you have seen it, अंदर से शक्ति is what the campaign was. So if you ever designed a campaign like that, what is the discussions happening in those rooms? Like who are the people you're talking to, and what are you discussing with them? How do we come up with it?
See, like I said, it comes. I'm not privy to the campaign that you just spoke about, but I think it's always the line, if you say, or the creative articulation. It is, trust me, it's sometimes with a very good brief. We call it a client brief, uh, and that brief is kind of created over a period of time. Once I know what the customer is saying, what the real need is, what the customer conflict is, why is customer not picking my product, and what can I say as a this thing out there. I think once that stuff comes so clear that it becomes visible to anybody and everybody, the line is usually the easiest to crack. I'm not saying it's anybody's job. Creative people do that job very well, and some of them, but it it becomes so relatable that the moment you hear that line and you're like, yes, this is going to solve my problem, right? So if you think about Chote Mein Bada Khwab, we try to tap into the dream that a mother has by fulfilling the nutritional needs of a child.
Correct.
Right. So if you see those films, also the kids in the first communication, there's a kid reciting a Wordsworth poem in the he's practicing for something that is going to go on stage and recite, and the mother is hearing this in standing in the kitchen while she's doing her chores, and so just the power of emotions and everything just coming through. and when he's on stage and doing the act, her emotion is something that you feel instantly, right?
Hmm.
And then the believability of the product delivering that with saying that it's got calcium and this thing and that, which helps in the growth of the child. It just lends it the credibility. Whenever
Hmm.
Born Vita, and I used to be a huge fan of some of the Born Vita commercial, would talk about Tayari Jeet Ki. It was
Yeah.
always about preparing for the win, right? It always showed that relationship of the mother and the child, but it wasn't.
Child. Yeah.
It wasn't like once you saw a communication with Tayari Jeet Ki, you kind of know where the next one would be, and you are kind of you're sucked into the world of Bonvita. Every communication is kind of belongs to that world of preparation, world of a mother preparing her child for something big to achieve greater heights, and I think that really doesn't happen in a room so much. It's kind of like there is a structure to it, and it's so clear to everybody because everybody is clear about those two, three things. Who am I
Hmm.
talking to? What is the problem at hand? What am I going to achieve with it? And what do I really need to do to make a difference out there? Right?
Correct.
Because Bonvita is about the fact that it is when I'm preparing to win means that it needs to create that place for itself in the world of HFDs for health food drinks, where it creates the difference. Because ultimately we know it's a chocolate drink. A chocolate drink is only going to enhance the taste of milk, but it's about how you kind of put those that narrative in such a way that it can take on competition. I don't
Hmm.
need to tell the mother that listen, this is chocolate drink, the chocolate is tastier. The moment I start doing that, I'm selling a product. I'm
Hmm.
not talking about a brand.
Correct.
I'm
You're just
not.
talking about the utilitarian aspect of it.
Exactly, it's becoming very utilitarian. So that becomes only possible when everybody knows, kind of what is the power of the brand that they want to tap into, and what do they want to stick to as a narrative.
Hmm. Cool. So, in the interest of time, I think we should skip to the questions, which is, can you just bust one myth about marketing for the participants today? Like, what is it that that probably people have in their mind which is not right about marketing in real life?
I mean, I don't know what's the myths going on these days,
I
but I
think
think
one of the things that we encountered at the starting of this conversation जो बच्चों के साथ हमने करी was that people usually think about marketing in terms of just advertisements and stuff. It's actually much more deeper than that. It's actually understanding what your consumers think, what their behavior is, what is their willingness to pay, how do you cross their J&D, their just noticeable difference. So yeah, I think you must have a similar answer to that. That people
yeah. I think absolutely. I think I do, and it's marketing is. I mean, so if we think that it's. I mean, if you just look at four P's, right? The classic four P's of marketing. I mean, the advertising part is only promotion there.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, just think about how price plays such an important role in marketing. I mean, how many car brands really sell, because of advertising? I don't think Range Rover does a lot of advertising. I don't think Jaguar does much advertising, right? People
Because
still
their
buy
audience
a
is not.
Jaguar in the correct, but then they also have competition. There are 60, 70 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupee cars in the market. Why is
Hmm.
it that somebody is only paying for a Land Rover or a Range Rover
Correct.
and not for a Jaguar, right? Why are they going for a Lexus, right? Why aren't they going for so it's there is those things which all those things happen because of marketing,
Hmm.
because there is a certain experience that that they get by buying a car. When Volvo is about safety, Volvo has been about safety for decades. BMW, I remember they did this landmark campaign of the complete machine, the ultimate machine, right? Because BMW was entering a market in America where it didn't have those sort of the kind of American toughness features which the American cars had. Neither did it have the sexiness or the appeal of a Mercedes. So it was entering a market kind of cold, thinking, how they're gonna kind of really create a dent. But it took something which was all about the engineering inside and all of that. They created their niche. They carved out their space. So and that wasn't so much about advertising as much as about again figuring out that need. And what can I create something which is not going to be easy to disrupt, right, for a long time to come. And I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Netflix wanted to sort of buy out the store. There was a Blockbuster. There was a rental movie store. They had the chance to sort of come together, and Blockbuster said no, and then Blockbuster became extinct. Right? It was it was a bad move for somebody out there to not see what the growth of that business could be. And I think if yeah, in the Netflix story, a lot of the success of the Netflix story is related to its marketing as well. Right? It's about the kind of content they have picked. It's about the way they have promoted their content, and the way they have promoted how how Netflix. It was actually like a direct mailing business. How they used to send DVDs, into this thing, and Netflix became a behavior, right? That I'm going to Netflix. So anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, so we have a very young audience here who are just getting out of school. So can you please explain 4 P's of marketing to them?
Sure. So so there's price, there's place, there's promotion, and there's product. So these are the 4 P's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is something that you guys should take a note of, because wherever you go, 4 P's of marketing are something that stands out across. सब लोग यही एक चीज बोलेंगे कि marketing 4 P's. So yeah,
Yeah.
how
And
these
they're also going
folks
to talk about the 4 C's and they're also going to talk about the 4 C's and the 7 P's. But the first, sorry, yeah, 5 C's and the 7 P's. Apparently the 3 more P's. But
Yeah.
this is the bread and butter, if I could say.
Correct. So I had this session with Aman Gupta a few days back. I was in BITS Hyderabad for a competition, and Aman Gupta comes up there and he starts talking about 4 P's of marketing. I'm like, okay, that was the first lecture of marketing, but cool. Good to know that it works. So yeah, how can our students figure out
I lost you there. I think I can't hear you.
marketing is the right career choice for them?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So how can students figure out if marketing is the right fit for them, if they are fit for marketing?
See, I think some of it I've already mentioned, but like I think firstly you need to figure out not that the marketing is the right fit for you. I think first you need to figure out what excites you in a business. When you see Amazon, when you see Apple, what do you really ask? What are the things that you want to be a part of? If your answer is going to be any of those 4 P's, you want to be in marketing, right? Because I mean, think about it. Are you going to look at a company and say, oh, it's not about the product? Are you going to say, oh, it's not about the price that excites me? Are you going to say, maybe price is not exciting, but does price make you curious? Do you sometimes wonder that why is it that
why is it 499 and not 500?
that or why is it that an Apple which looks not so different from a OnePlus charges me a 40-50% premium?
Correct.
Right? Then you will probably then ask the next question. Okay, so it's an Android and it's an iOS. So why is it that an Android is shared by 20 different phone makers, and iOS is only shared by Apple.
Apple, correct.
And then you're asking business questions, right? Because then you're saying that, okay, there is a sort of a monopolization here. So who did that? Who designed the business that way, right? So that is why I was also kind of differing, with the the answer on Apple, is because Apple's winning strategy is not the hardware they make. It's about the iOS. And as long as people are entering the ecosystem of Apple, Apple is not going anywhere.
It's more about the ecosystem कि मैं मेरे
It's more
फोन में
about the
कॉपी करता हूँ और
ecosystem.
कंप्यूटर में पेस्ट होता है.
Yeah, and I think that is the exciting part about marketing. Because if you're, let's say, you're in the marketing team of iPhones, and you're wondering these questions, you then you will things will become easier for you when you sort of root into those concepts and say that, okay, fine, this is, I if as long as I can create these margins, and I'm creating this much number, I'm good with my, I'm doing enough. I'm doing sort of the due diligence for the brand that it needs. So I think any of these four things in the four P's make you curious, make you excited, then you should be in marketing. You should at least go through the journey before you say no.
These questions are quite contrasting. So, what would you have been doing if not marketing?
I don't know if I wasn't in marketing or advertising. I think I would. I would be in some sort of a creative profession. I think I
Okay.
probably would be maybe I would be writing. I could be a lecturer or a teacher, which also I do sometimes, but I probably
Okay.
would be doing that full time. And yeah, probably some of these things because like I said, because again, going back to what excites me, because I like to be around people. So I think both these professions, writing not so much, but yeah, writing is kind of going to give me content to talk about and things like that, and a lot of ideas and things like that. So yeah.
So you're
Probably,
more of a creative person who would.
yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, students have asked some questions before coming to this test drive. So, Anay asks, how significant is branding in B2B marketing? This is also a question which I want to ask because I'm building a B2B brand. So, D2C तो समझ आता है कि चलो आपने कुछ content बना दिया, आपने कुछ viral चीज कर दिया and your product sells. But what about B2B? B2B is very plain, simple, formal, and boring a little. So, how do you do that?
No, I think B2B marketing is much more exciting than you can imagine.
Is it?
Honestly, if I was to start my journey today, I would actually want to get into B2B marketing more than B2C. The
Okay.
reason is, look around you. You are currently in a country uh, where there are a lot of big players coming in, wanting a piece of our, piece of the pie, so to say. And that only happens when big ecosystems, when a geo and a star comes together, right, and it becomes a geo hotstar. This is big. That is so big that it's not going to happen uh, just by selling a product to the customer, right? It's going to happen when you kind of really are out there and you are able to attract businesses.
Okay.
Geo Hotstar is, if for instance, if I'm a news channel, how do what's my survival of news channel, or any entertainment channel for that matter, right? I need to get people to advertise my listing, and I need to show them ROI for that advertising spends that they do on my news channel, right? To buy that asset. So I think B2B is going to get more and more, and B2B branding is very significant. Why? Because again, if the fundamentals don't change, how it differentiates from B2B B2C strategy is just in a fact that here I need to really cluster them in a one sort of a behavior. So I think it's in a sense relatively easier, right? Because the behavior of an entire media community, let's say, for me to advertise to them, their needs and their wants would be pretty much the same, is what I can sort of go with the assumption of, as
Correct.
opposed to figuring out, decoding the psychographics of my customer, the geographies of my customer, what do they want, where do they need this product, what do they do with their smartphone, are they into making taking great pictures, or are they taking great movies, making movies with it, so that's the job there. So I mean, if iPhone 16e has probably sacrificed or compromised on its camera, it's because it's done that research to probably figure out that, okay, fine, people are paying 50,000 rupees for a phone. They're okay letting go of a great video camera, right? They're not, they just need this much. They need great selfies, but not necessarily a home production film, right?
Hmm.
Or an art or a professionally made film, right? Which can
Correct.
use the 1 lakh rupees for.
My question here is, I'm genuinely
Those,
very sorry.
those fundamentals don't go in B2B. They stay. Sorry.
Okay. But then my question here is that who do you market it to? I mean, for D2C, I understand कि ठीक है चलो अगर if I'm building Pampers or something like that, I'll go towards moms, right? But in terms of B2B, I don't know, what do you do?
It depends on the product. So for instance, if I'm Asian Paints, okay, if I'm Fevicol, okay, let's just talk about Fevicol. I think Fevicol is a great example. What do you think Fevicol is? Is Fevicol a B2B product or a B2C product?
I think it's a D2C product.
You think it's a B2C product?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you say so?
Because it is something I get into stores and I buy it from there for my particular usage, and I'm an individual and not a business.
No, so actually, I was taking this session at Masters Union only for the different class last week, in fact.
Yeah, you were here, but I was actually in Hyderabad at that point.
That's fine. So my point is, Fevicol actually, if you should just go back to all the films that they made so far, right from the beginning. The kind of diaspora that they've shown, the kind of people they've shown, the way they've shot the films, the humor that you can understand from the films, or the just the visibility factor. Their communication audience is very, very different from their consumption audience. Actually, it's a completely B2B business. If you think about it, Fevicol's good 50-60% market comes from, or probably even more, comes from the carpenters, right? So is Asian Paints. But yes, it's about the magic of how do I create a business, a commodity into something which everybody can relate to and kind of have a feel of. You think Fevicol or Asian Paints today are B2C is because of the immense amount of money that they have thrown into marketing, right? The brand leverage, the brand image that they have created, right? With campaigns like Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai, or Fevicol Ka Jod Hai Today. All those things have become sort of, I would say, social sort of narratives, a part of sort of cultural narratives in a sense. But their the consumption essentially lies in now. What happens is, if I have a contractor, now see how it plays out. If I have a contractor, I have a carpenter at my house doing the construction work, I'm going to go to him and ask him, what are you using? What adhesive are you using? Right? And if I don't see a Fevicol there, I'm going to say, Fevicol kyun nahi use kar rahe ho aap? Right? So it's going, and so it works both ways, right? And so while I am only aware of the films that are going on Fevicol, that Fevicol is doing a lot of things on the ground with the dealers, with the distributors, which is why again I said that those five forces, it's doing a lot with those five forces, which I'm not privy to, which I'm not exposed to. So Fevicol is actually a very, very B2B business, more than it is a B2C business. So the strategies would be different. Like I said, it's about, the strategies would depend on what are your markers of growth. What are your KPIs that you're trying to achieve? What are the key performance indicators that you're trying to achieve? Am I just trying to dial up awareness? So then, if I am a brand of furniture, I need to be present in Kirtinagar market. Okay, if I'm right. So if I'm Merino, if I'm making laminates, I've worked on Merino. So if I'm making laminates, I need to take part in all the events where carpenters are sitting, where the interior decorators are sitting, because I need them to drive my brand's growth, right? So then those strategies come in. B2C strategies would be exposed, restricted to the things that customers, individuals are exposed to, right? As opposed to communities. So I need to go out where the communities are going.
Correct.
Um,
All right. There's
Second
one question.
question. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
So there's one question which Kushant asked us is that if you're selling an intangible product like an AI service or an agent, how should you market it? How does it differ?
Um, should marketing approaches adapt when promoting virtual or intangible products? See, I don't know how specifically for AI agents and digital services how it will happen, but when I talk about intangible products, just the idea of marketing or promoting an intangible product, I think it comes to a service. I think any intangible product or an AI is about service. So you focus on you focus on the ease of that service is going to bring into the customer's life, right? Because any AI is going to bring what? It's going to bring us convenience. So let's say if I'm designing an AI product and I want mothers to use that AI tool to make recipes, quick recipes for their kids. So for the fussy eaters, 5-year-olds at home, then I'm going to design the product in such a way. I'm going to talk to the mothers in such a way in their language. I'm going to be going on promoting it on forums where the mothers are already going. Probably they're already going on YouTube and finding those recipes. I'll probably put out some banner ads on YouTube. I'll probably do some WhatsApp marketing on some I don't know, if I'm in tier 2 towns, maybe I'm doing some tie-ups even with restaurants and halls and things which are doing these kitty parties, right? I might just be a part of WhatsApp groups, and maybe on these My Gate apps which are in societies, right? I do some tie-ups with them and create some events on ground, and do a kind of a demonstration this thing with them, so they can see how I bring ease into their life, in their everyday life. So it really comes down to that, right? That as a service, how do I make a difference to my customer?
And yeah, so I used to run a LinkedIn marketing agency jahan pe I tried to automate the whole process using Hagen and LoraFlex. And so the way I used to do it was that when I used to talk to the clients, I used to talk on using the ladric model, the fab model,
Right.
features, advantages, and benefits. So
Yes.
I show them a dream, I show them the benefits, and then when they're curious about it, I give them the features of it, and that used to work for some reason.
Yeah, it would because uh, it's always about, right, any service. And like I said, even the whole idea of customers need, when I say, you have to tell them how their lives are going to change with it.
Exactly, you show
Right?
them the dream.
Born Vita was about Tayari Jeet Ki, because I mean we know it's not the most practical thing to think about, right? That whether health food drink I'm going to win. It's everybody knows it's an exaggerated claim, but nobody's saying that you're going to win. It's saying it's a preparation to win. It's a journey, right? So the brand is just trying to partner you in that journey. You're going to make that journey anyway. It's not like you're going to start making the journey because the brand is telling you so, right? You're already making that journey, and you might just partner that brand in the journey, because you're not gonna really hold them accountable for it if they don't reach the destination. So similarly, any
Correct.
service also needs to think of uh, the service like that. Any service provider.
Correct. So I guess that answers their questions. The floor is open for Q&A. We'll just take a few more because we're already a lot out of time. But yeah, anyways,
No problems.
would
I
you?
can still take some questions if there are any. I don't see any
Cool,
questions.
perfect. We'll just take 2-3 questions. If there is any question, you guys can raise your hands and I can probably unmute you, or you can write it in the chat box and read it out for you.
Could you just give me a minute? Just give me a minute, please.
Sure, of course, of course. Yeah. Till that time, we'll just load a lot of questions in the chat box. Why is it that nobody has a question? All right. Cool. And I saw your question. You bumped it up again. To a plant store in Bangalore that specializes in open box and discounted new products. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so Anay has a question again.
Right.
Is B2C marketing possible with minimal funds?
Is B2C marketing?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think think about what's the kind of marketing that new age brands are doing today. There is this brand. Let me just just a second. I don't know if you've heard of this brand called UGs. Have you guys have heard of it?
No.
UGWS.
UGWS. No.
Look it up. It's on Insta and everywhere, and started by a couple. It's actually they have just it's a product which is designed. I mean, it's apparently they say that it's for just cleaning your undergarments. So it's a
Okay.
specialized detergent for undergarments, right?
Okay.
And there's very minimal branding. It's very basic branding, but just the product in itself comes from a sort of it makes you curious. You're like, okay, fine, it'll create some trials, right? And if you're on the right networks, the trick is that if your Instagram is your key to sort of platform to promote the brand, it's not a brand that you're promoting, it's a need of the product that you're promoting, because you know that it's not as a product. People are not really looking for it's not something like a serum or a sunscreen lotion which I just put out there and I'm going to look for one. I'm not going to put undergarments detergent out there. But how do I create the need for it? Can I use some influencer marketing? Can I use some use cases to say that um, uh, uh, think about when Sebamed did a campaign. Sebamed is this soap that did a campaign to sort of talk about for the first time the pH level, saying that a dove has a pH level of I don't know 10, and your pH level should not be, or things like that. So you're suddenly making your customer think about a thing that they don't know of, and then you kind of price them off the things that they're missing out on, right? So I think it's not so much about pumping in monies. It's about having the right strategy. And if you don't know the if you're just creating another product that you yourself are not convinced, I think don't sell that product is what I would say.
Makes sense.
You need to have a very powerful strategy out there.
Personally, I have pivoted through many businesses, and I feel like the ones that really stick out and the ones that you really love working with is जिसमें तो आपका थोड़ा सा बहुत passion हो कि यार I genuinely want to solve for this. Yeah. And apart from that, Anay, there's one more way to do marketing without funds is go to Shark Tank and then come back and your product will be promoted like hell. But yeah,
No,
George's
yeah, but even Shark Tank would want to know the numbers as to how did you grow the business, how powerful is your strategy. So you have to get a right strategy, right?
Fair.
And But it won't be a bad idea to go and look at Shark Tank and say what are the kind of businesses that are getting the funding. What is
Correct.
it about their numbers? Is it that they are? I've seen some businesses which are probably, the marketing is probably the ROI on marketing is 200x or 20x, which is great business because they it's not dependent on the marketing monies that they are putting. They're just in the right business. They're putting those five forces to use very, very well. They probably have a great relationship with their suppliers, that they have certain suppliers which only deliver to them. They have a certain maybe obsession with quality. They're so yeah. Maybe their go-to-market strategy is great. Maybe their speed is great, which keeps their costs low, like Southwest Airlines does. So all those fundamentals of the business is what you need to sort of first figure out, as to first see, do I even need marketing? Do I need any money for marketing? You so probably it needs to start from there, and then become the devil's advocate to say how do I cut the cost actually of marketing, and then why do I need marketing? Every time you think I need more money for marketing, ask yourself, why do I need it? What am I going to do? What am I going to achieve with it, which I can't do without it? Yeah.
Aman, we can
Uh,
move forward.
yeah, actually, there was some network issue. I could not hear anything. Cool. Pranav had a question and he would want to unmute and ask. This will be the last question, by the way, because we are very short on time. But anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, hi, sir. It's very nice to meet you. I heard all your points thoroughly, and it was very good points that you mentioned. So on the point of marketing, right? My question is, so my dad runs a business. He owns a open box business, and I want to know more about how to market that. So the point of the business is like I want a way to market it in unique ways, like how food and beverage companies are doing it, but in a way that we market appliances. So I want to drive in more foot traffic. We don't have an online store, so we want to drive in more foot traffic to the in-store, and it's based out of Bangalore. So and the another thing is it's not just open box products, it's also new products. And there's just no way I could think creatively, because my dad, we converse a lot, and there's I had no idea how to market it, because all I see on Instagram is how unique food and beverage companies and restaurants are doing it. And while no, like, I mean, appliance stores are doing it, it's all about clothing and food and beverage companies. So I wanted to know more thoughts about how you think I would do it creatively.
So what business is it again? I didn't
It's
get
an
that.
open box appliance business.
Mhm.
So we buy open box is basically unpackaged products. It's where
Okay.
like you get like a stove or a washing machine where it's damaged, like minor, like cosmetic damages, and the price of it would decrease in value because of the damages. The product is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with the internal parts or the external parts. It's just minor scratches which makes it hard to sell on normal MRP. So we sell it on a really low prices. And I think that was the main key selling point on selling products to people who can't afford new products, but it's easier to afford just minor scratches. People don't mind minor scratches. So I happen to understand our business audiences are like people moving into Bangalore newly, and people like young college students who want to buy washing machines, stuff like that, at a cheaper price rather than renting it. So I wanted to know your thoughts on how to market this sort of business.
See, I think what I hear is, two three things. You said that you don't want them to rent out, and this could be a nice alternative to renting out a product, right? Um, so think about the social status in terms of the social this thing of uh, uh, owning a product versus renting a product. You know, you need to figure out from your maybe audience and do some research and just talk to people as to is it make is does it make a difference to them by owning a product, or is it something that that uh, mostly I think people rent out products and students rent out products is because they don't know where they're going to stay for the next 3 months, 6 months. The
Right.
flexibility of it, right? The flexibility of the fact that what I'm just gonna use it 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, and I'm out of it. As opposed to something which they have to own and then sort of and the first thing that people want when they buy something, buy anything for that matter, is they want a warranty.
Yeah, our products are all company-based warranty. So the day of purchase, they buy it from our store. It's the warranty starts from there. So there's nothing issues with warranty, and we sometimes also get delivery for free. We porter all our products, like the washing machines, TVs, and stuff. But the problem is we have a very low foot traffic, and we don't want to start an online store because online stores have a very high and competitive market. So it's more like a business where it's surrounded, and we've done a lot of YouTube videos. YouTubers come in, review products, and like show off our store, but that's just like spurts of views, like spurts of people coming in, and that's all. So we get a lot of dry months. So I want to know if there's a way to creatively market these products, and how to, like, what should our audiences be. Like, I've been thinking it's students, but a lot of older people also come into the store trying to buy products which are as good as new, but just because of a few minor scratches, the products are very low and at a discounted rate. So that's on the path I was thinking on. But
Yeah, see, I think you will need to I mean, if it's something like a warranty that you're saying you're already providing, right? I think you need to you need to really sort of sell the value of these products versus figure out that they're affordable. I'll tell you what, no poor man in this country or in any country, I think, especially in our country, wants to be told that they're poor. Okay, um, I I mean the reason why an iPhone 16e still has a good demand as 50,000, 60,000 rupees product, which is 40-50% lower than the original phone, is because it's got iPhone, because it's got the Apple logo. The moment I remove the Apple logo, it loses its value, it becomes something else, it becomes cheap, it becomes another OnePlus with an iOS,
yeah,
right? I don't want that. if I'm if price is a barrier between me entering an iOS, right, or entering an Apple family, I don't, for me, going from a 25,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees to a 50,000 rupees is also a big climb, right? So for people to assume, for Apple to assume that, listen, I'm giving you an Apple phone, now be happy with it. Now the Apple logo is not going to come. I'll put some other label on it and it'll come. I think maybe that value is what you need to tap into. So what I'm essentially saying is that you need to talk to your audience. It's not so much about whether you do YouTube. You could, I would say, you should look at platforms of nano platforms, in a sense, more hyper market, right? Look at platforms like, which are just college communities, right? Not so much about college students, but like, going to look at influencers in college, people in college communities and things like that. Like, there may be college festivals that happen. Could you take maybe some key 4, 5, 7, 10 college festivals in Bangalore, where you put up a kiosk,
yeah,
right? I think college is a good segment, depending again on the kind of products, but I won't say that all products will be sold to college students. I agree with you, this thing. There are people who want uh, value, right? So if I was to say that, going back to my original point, is that what if you get an Apple logo, right? If I'm just, as a thought, I'm planting it this in your head, I don't mean it literally, but what if I give you the value of an Apple at the price of a Samsung,
okay,
or a Motorola, right? If
So
you kind of put this, if you kind of put this in people's this thing without using words like affordable or cheap, and not only the price of a Motorola, but at the warranty of an Apple as well, because they're not losing. Like you said, the company is going to still giving the warranty. If the company is still, you are not even a third party person. You just happen to be having that thing with you, which they are willing to pay that much money for, right?
Right. Right. So the brands we sell is like people don't know much. I mean, Mydia. Have you heard of Mydia?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so we sell Mydia. We sell a brand called Blowhot. That's a pretty new brand. It's Bangalore based. And so these are the brands we sell as well. And it's not known and it's not at the prestige as an Apple product or a Samsung product. So how do we kind of sell these products as well? We have a relationship with these companies, Mydia and Blowhot. So how do we sell those products which are not high in prestige, but the quality and everything is maintained? So is it just like the way you said, it's more about value than
I
the
think they're different. You need to look at different strategies beyond promotion. You need to look at pricing.
okay.
What if you actually sell your products like rental companies do? I don't know if you know the rental model, right?
Yes.
You sign a contract, right? And then they pay per month. I know one because I think Renticle does that. What if you do that? You tell your people that, listen, I know I'm selling you something second hand, okay? But here is what. You don't have to pay me all the amount right now. Why
Right.
don't you pay me in installments for 6 months? And if
Right.
after 3 months the product gives up, I give you the money back, right? If
Yeah.
you need to be smart with your pricing model. You can bundle also. You can say that I have an idea, and why don't we do the one thing? Why do you look at it as an AC? I'm giving you air solutions. You know, you put it as under air solutions. You say that I'm giving you a idea AC, and I'm also giving. Let me bundle it together with an air purifier of Philips or whatever.
Okay.
Hypothetically
Yeah.
speaking, and then you say that I'm giving you this service. It's a service. Look at it as a service for 1,200 rupees a month, and you give it. You pay me for 3 months. If you like the product, you keep the product. Otherwise, you sell it back to me. See, what this does is that now your business model has changed. You're not selling something second hand,
Hmm.
but you are putting that you're filling that column in your balance sheet where your sale is done. You got your revenue.
Hmm.
Right
Yeah.
now, chances are good chances are that with the warranty and everything, they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
You have made your money,
Yeah.
right? But in the worst case scenario, that they actually come back and they say, and they actually realize, this is quite clever. After 3 months, I can actually give it back. You take it back and you sell it again,
Sell it again. Right. Yeah.
right? And you also maybe put those clauses to say that if you have if it's a, let's say, a product which comes only with 6 months warranty and they're selling you after 6 months, then it is not applicable.
Okay.
Things like that. So you need to put those in, but I think you can play with pricing over here. It could really do a great job here. Even in Apple, I don't know if you guys know this, Apple sold its phones in America despite the premium price. Not even today, they don't sell it as a phone alone. They sell with a network. So you go to any Apple store in US, you pick the network and then you take the Apple.
Like
It comes
T-Mobile.
with, they ask you which service do you want, and they give. So you give a service. What you are also doing is look at it as a service. I would say that's a very important spin that you need to put. Think some time on it. This is some tips that I've given you, but put some time on it to really look at what you sell as a service. Even students, communities, you need to look at it as a service. Can you bundle all kitchen products and look at them as kitchen service? Stove, the microwave. I mean, trust me, like if I was to live in Bangalore for a year and I'm working in Bangalore, I would come to somebody like you.
Okay.
I would come to somebody like you and say that, yeah, Pranav, why don't you just give me, I need 4 kitchen products because I'm only going to be in Bangalore for a year, right? So I just need 4 kitchen products. take 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, and I want all four of them because I'm going to return them to you years later, or I'll just sell it.
Right.
So I don't want to buy, I don't want a pain of buying. You're giving me a warranty card. It's a great deal. So look at these things as a service.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, if you do come to Bangalore, you should check out our store. It's called Lico Open Box.
Sure.
Cool. And so, like, thank you so much, sir, for this long session. I guess we extended for another hour. So
No
thank you
problem.
so much
I
for.
had told Gauravi no issues. I can go up to another hour, and I kept my word.
We'll surely have that someday. I mean,
Yeah,
cool. So thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time and answering our questions, which might have felt a little stupid at points.
No, not at all. There's no such thing as stupid questions.
Right. So again, thank you so much to all these
Thank you so much.
participants. You've
Thanks
been
for
a
having
very
me, and
great audience.
thanks for all those questions, and thanks Aman for really having patience with some of my long answers and sort of and I know these things can sometimes get a little sort of listening to one person, but thanks for all of you sort of really listening in on a Saturday evening, and I'm sure you've got more fun things to do. So, thanks for having me. Thanks a
All
lot.
right. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day.
Have a good
Yes.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for all the participants who have been here, and you guys were a great audience. There's a survey link in the chat box which I would love for you guys to fill, and the incentive to do that is you get my personal list of campaigns that are very close to me, and I like them a lot. So yeah, fill the form, and you will probably get the link. I'm dropping my WhatsApp number if you want to reach out for anything. Right? You guys can probably reach out for your questions. Pranav, I know you had a lot of questions which could not be answered, but yeah, we can take them up and we can probably discuss on it and then go reach out to Yaman sir again. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Hope you guys had fun. This was Aman Khan Pathan signing off.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys. Bye. There's a form link which you have to fill. That's a mandatory.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll be sending the form link on the group as well. So requesting you to take the number from the chat box on priority basis because we'll be ending the meeting now. So anybody that wants to take up the number, please do that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Goodbye.